decided to record this quick little video to show you how I make my basic common cold and flu tea. It's a combination of different herbs that I put together in one jar for convenience. So right now it's completely empty. And what I like to, because we just used it all up, but this is a season when there are sniffles, there are viruses, there are colds, flu is up and about, so we need to protect ourselves. And something that you can come home and quickly make tea, and you don't have to pull different herbs from different shelves, different packages, different jars, whatever. I like to put everything together in one jar, and it's just for convenience. So for example, if someone is not feeling well, I'm gonna quickly grab this jar that's already labeled for common cold and flu. So couple of notes, because I'm going to be putting so many different herbs in the same jar, I need to make sure that everyone who's going to be using these herbs actually can use them. So a little disclaimer, I'm not a doctor, I don't treat, I don't diagnose, I don't recommend any herbs on my channel. But I am a home herbalist and I use herbs for my family all the time. I study herbs, I study functional health, so I am aware of many herbs. And a couple of things to know, that if you take any kind of prescription medications, it is also always a good idea to double check to make sure that there is no contraindications between a certain herb and your medication, okay? So always ask your provider to assist you with that. But I do know that we don't take any pharmaceuticals in this house, so I know we don't have any contraindications, and we're not allergic to any of my plethora of different herbs that I have in front of you. Let me show you what I have. But also I like to do this when I literally just put all of the herbs, I list them right here, so I will know exactly what's in my jar. Okay, so let me show you herbs that I have here. Okay, so here are my herbs that I'm going to be using in this particular recipe for common cold and flu seasonal things that could be coming around. So what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be taking in equal parts of each and every one of these jars, these herbs from these jars that I have, and I'm going to mix them in a bowl, just like this, okay? So let me go one by one. All right, so I'm gonna start, and like I said, I have this little list I have right on my jar, so it's gonna help me to keep track of things that I need. So I'm gonna start with lemon balm. And if you guys have, where's my lemon balm? There it is. And if you guys have watched my previous videos, you will know that I grow a lot of my own herbs, including lemon balm. So I have this extra large spoon, it's my Russian wood spoon. And I'm just going to use that as my measurement tool. So I'm going to do 2 of each item, okay? 2 parts of each item. If you can use a quarter of a cup, you can use a large tablespoon, whatever you want, but that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be using 2 parts of each thing. Then I'm going to use my chamomile. And the reason why I like to use chamomile, this one I actually had to purchase because I did not grow enough. Because I like how it has that nervine properties in it, and it helps to calm things down and relax. Because one of the things that happens when we are dealing with immune response to any kind of cold or flu, any kind of a pathogen, we activate our neurotransmitters that may make us anxious and kind of like unsettled. So this will help us to calm down. Linden tree flowers. And also I have a video about how I like to harvest them. It's going to be difficult to measure these guys because they're not very measurable. So I'm just going to go by a couple of handfuls. Yeah, about that. And I also have a video about linden tree flowers and their beneficial properties, and I like to use them in my cold and flu as well. Then I have a red raspberry, where is it? Leaves, and I just harvested them myself very recently, and I tried to record a video, but something happened to my video, so I have not posted it because I can't find the one piece of it. As soon as I find a piece of it, I just stuck here a little bit. I will show you how I harvest and how I ferment my red raspberry leaves. Oh my goodness, My goodness, it smells like red raspberries. All right, so red raspberry is also used often to help to deal with cold and flu. Next thing is going to be Echinacea, and I have my own Echinacea. Okay, I don't have roots. I have not harvested roots. I really should. It's early December. It's still not too late. So I'm going to put 2 parts. It's leaves and flowers of Echinacea. About that. Oh, maybe too much. Okay. It looks like it's a lot in this bowl right now, and you're correct. It's not going to fit all in one jar, so I'm going to try to pulverize it to make it smaller. All right, after Echinacea, I'm going to use oregano. And I should have some oregano here that I also harvested from my, and it has oregano leaves and oregano flowers. In Russian, we call it dushitsa because it's very, very fragrant. Trust me, it's not gonna taste like Italian sauce. It's not. It's gonna be very, very good tea. Okay, so what else am I adding? I'm adding thyme, and I have some English thyme that I grew somewhere. Where's my little jar? I had it here. There it is. And I don't have much of it, so I think I'm gonna use all of it that I have right now. Yeah, I'm gonna use all of it. Because thyme has very small little leaves, so I really did not save much. Okay, after that I have knotweed. And knotweed is something that I also have in my backyard. And I don't think I have a video about that yet. I should have a video about that. But knotweed is also good anti-inflammatory and used in cold and flu and bronchitis, throat inflammation, that sort of thing. All right, elderflowers. Elderflowers I had to purchase because we seem to unable to grow elderberries in our yard. The deer eat it all. So 2 parts of that. What else? Bee balm. Bee balm, and I have a video about bee balm, how I grow it and ferment it, and how, oh, it smells so delicious. Let me tell you, homegrown fresh herbs are so much better than store-bought, because honestly, we don't know when they were grown, when they were harvested. We have no idea. Okay, then after that, I'm going to be using Nasturtium. Nasturtium are also grow on my own, and I preserve it. So let me see how much I have. This year I made, oh, little flower right there. This year I made Nasturtium tincture and Nasturtium leaves for the tea. They're a little bitter. They're on the bitter side. Okay, also I'm going to be using some nettle. This is my stinging nettle. I also grow that on my own, and I ferment it, so that's why it's very, very dark. It has a little bit of diuretic property, but it's also good for your immune system. So that's why I'm using it. And the last thing, no, it's not last thing, but I'm going to be putting a little bit of Mullien. And the reason why I like to put Mullien, because it's really good as, it's very fluffy, so it doesn't want to fit in my spoon. It's very good as a mucolytic and as an expirant. So when during colds and flus and upper respiratory infections, we often have that mucus that's kind of like holding us back. Okay, and now for the final herb, and this is St. John's wort. And when I did my research about St. John's wort, first of all, I grew up with St. John's wort. Every Russian household knows Zviraboy. This is Zviraboy. And I just dried it in a bunch just like this. And now I'm going to be putting it in here. I'm not even going to measure it. And I grew up with Zviraboy, St. John's wort, because my grandmother used to say that it was against 99 different illnesses. And perhaps she's right. So, but when I did my research here in the US, most of the literature I found was only talking about that it is to treat mild to moderate depression. So for people who do take any serotonin, selective serotonin reuptake medications, such as Prozac, SSRIs, such as Prozac, this may not be a good idea for you guys to add this to your mix, because it may interfere with your medication, and then you will have too much serotonin, and you can actually have a side effect which is called serotonin storm. So you don't want to do that. So what I did, I just threw it in here. I didn't even measure it. All right, so now I'm just gonna mix everything together. It's a beautiful pile of different herbs, and it smells heavenly. All right, and because it's so bulky, I won't be able to fit it in one jar. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to put it in my food processor, and I just want to kind of break it down just a little bit to be a little bit more manageable, and it will fit in my teapot much easier. But look how pretty. It's absolutely beautiful. I should take a picture of it. It's so beautiful. Okay, and now I'm just gonna put in the food processor, so I just can break that down just a little bit. It doesn't have to be a very perfect kind of a dust, because I don't like very dusty teas, but it should be enough to kind of break them down and combine them. And I previously already mixed them the best I could here in a large bowl. So I'm just gonna put a little funnel here to help me to put everything. A couple of pieces did not break very well, but it's okay. All right, so I'm just gonna put everything in my jar. Okay, we actually go pretty quick through this tea, because anybody ever comes home from working outside and feeling cold and kind of, you know, under the weather, I immediately make this tea. So I'm just gonna tap it a little bit so it settles to the bottom, and I'm going to pulverize the rest of it. Oh my goodness, smells so good. Okay, so the tea is done. I'm gonna put everything in a jar. I'm gonna put everything in a jar, and this is gonna be readily available for anyone in my family to use, okay? Like I said before, make sure that all of these ingredients that I'm putting is compatible with our family. Nobody's allergic to anything, and this is what we're going to be using throughout the season. Okay, I usually make this a couple of times a year because we end up using them. When I do make my herbal teas, I let them sit and steep for at least 15, maybe even 20 minutes, because I want to extract as many of those medicinal properties into the hot boiling water. However, when I am putting honey into my tea, I wait for the tea water to cool off a little bit, and only at that point I add honey. Honey should never be put in boiling water. So one of the subscribers wrote to me and said that make sure that Mullien doesn't get into your airways. Yes, because I use this little special strainer that fits inside of my teapot just like this. So when I pour my tea, loose tea, it goes straight into this little strainer, and it's perfect. And it's perfect for how many portions I want to make, because it goes in there. Okay, so I'm just gonna make some tea. And as always, cover with my mama's old towel. Let it steep 15-20 minutes. It'll be delicious. On this note, friends, stay encouraged, stay healthy, and try something new.